Ladies and gentlemen, it's January 2022, and it's time to count down the top characters in the game that are farmable. And if you're ready for that, guys, find that like button. Let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Maniacs. Welcome back to the channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you're ready to count down the top 10 free-to-play, aka farmable characters in Marvel Strike Force. We do this every month. I want to thank each and every one of you that watched last month's video, gave it a thumbs up, but we are doing this again. Things have changed in the game. We have a few new characters introduced to the game. The meta is sort of shifting, and the way that this list has come about, if these are the characters that if they were missing from my roster, they would be the most painful to replace because I'm using them very often in the game. Now, how do I rate these characters? Well, in order of importance, I think that Arena is the most important game mode because that's what gives you the power cores. I think Raids is the next most important. That's what gives you that valuable gear, the teal gear if you're going for Dark Dimension 5, some of the other earlier orange purple gear if you're earlier in the game. And then after that, it goes War Offense, War Defense, and every other game mode. I don't think the other game modes like Pocket Dimension or the Tower mode are permanent enough to be included in this list yet, but maybe down the road they will be. Now, this list, like I said, is based on these characters. If they were missing from my roster, would be very painful to replace. But if you're a newer player and not totally at that end game like I have been playing for, 4 years now? Almost 4 years? Well, this is gonna give you a glimpse into what you could expect towards the end game. This is what is going on in the end game right now and may be shaping how you build your roster. Mid-game players, well, these characters may not be as valuable to you. It may be harder to farm some of these characters, but it'll kind of help you build some of these characters in the background if you are able to get some of these nodes to try to go towards what is in the meta right now. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go and see who is not eligible for this list. And there are a lot of good characters, as you can see. A lot of great characters in this game are not farmable yet in Marvel Strike Force, like Doom, Dormammu. Shang-Chi is fountainable, according to Scopely's definition, but farmable is a little different. So I guess the way they're defining is they're obtainable through orbs. Well, in my mind, that is not farmable. So what is farmable to me? Well, they have to be available in a node or a store. So all these awesome characters, some of the best characters in the game, not eligible for this list, unfortunately. So boom. Who is eligible? Well, there's one new character that got farmable, and that is her Misty Knight, available in the Blitz store. She was taken out of that Blitz orb. Shang-Chi was put in there, and Shang-Chi is a good character, but not farmable. So he doesn't count for this list. And a little disappointed because last month there was only one character added to this newly farmable list as well, Anti-Venom. So within the 2 months, there's only been 2 characters. So pretty low. Lower than what my expectations were, but let's clear this off. Let's go through this list and let's start this countdown at the number 10 spot. And coming in at the number 10 spot this month, and this is gonna be surprising some people, it is our boy Symbiote Spider-Man. He has fallen 6 spots from last month, and the reason is because of these web warriors. I'm not a huge fan of all those red stars required on those web warriors, but they are a better team. Now, Symbiote Spider-Man does still have some value in the game because if you don't have a great red stars on Spider-Punk, you can still use the other 4 web warriors with Symbiote Spider-Man. Let's take a look in the game and see what makes him so good. Boom. Now, he is great in the raids. Those symbiotes were meant to be a raid team, and yes, still has some value if you're not running that full 5-person web warriors team, but Symbiote Spider-Man does a lot. Now, not only does he do what he does in the raids, he also unlocks our gal, the legendary Shuri, so you could get a little extra value from him here. Now, taking a look at the T4s, well, there's a lot of great T4s. I think he is a character that in the past you could justify T4ing everything. Now that his usage is going down, though, the reliance on these T4s is a little low, but in order of importance, we go with a passive. 95% of users on MSF.GG have this passive T4'd. The ultimate is 85%, the basic 82%, and the special 69%. As far as the Iso-8 class, well, I have the Raider class on him just because he gets the extra crit damage and because he could apply vulnerable to many targets. And unfortunately, he is a late game farm, so this is not a character I recommend for earlier players because he's available on Doom 4.9 very late. So yes, if you want to farm him, that is where he's available. Kind of losing importance though. He's a good character, but, you know, once the Web Warriors become full and people are using those, his value is going to go down. All right, next on the list is another great character. It is, boom. Where is she? There she is. There's Gamora. And she is a very good character, part of the meta. Some people are arguing for mid-game players that you could rank her a lot higher than this. Towards the end game, though, the value of the Infinity Watch has gone down. The Eternals are kind of taking over. I don't see any Infinity Watch on Arena defense. I don't use them on Arena offense. The Eternal combo is kind of dominating the Arena meta right now, but you still have some value for her. A little bit into the raids. Infinity Watch is kind of turning into a war team though, because they are losing value, at least at the end game in the arena. So let's go take a look at Gamora, see why she is so good, and boom. Yes, you could use her without the helmet too. I don't have that helmet equipped on her, but yeah, she is a striker. I think that is the most popular class. The 77% of users on MSF.GG also have that striker class on her, and she is also another legendary unlocking Star-Lord. Now, is Star-Lord that valuable that you should be pushing for? Not that much, but if we take a look at the T4s, well, the number one T4 for Gamora is her passive. 68% of users on MSF.GG have that passive T4. And then the basic, also very popular, 67%. Now, farming her, she's a very easy farm, very early game farm. You can farm her in one of the most friendly player-friendly stores out there, and that is the Blitz store because they are available all the time. You don't have to wait for it to pop up in that store. So yes, Gamora comes in at number 9 and very easy farm for new and end gameplay. Anywhere you can farm. All right, next on the list, boom, popping up on the list this month for the first time is Miles. Yes. Now, he is a very interesting character. He's starting to gain some value on this Web Warrior team. And I think out of the farmable characters, and there's only 2 of them, Miles and the normal Peter Parker Spider-Man, I think Miles is a little better because he's got an awesome basic. So let's go take a look at him in the game, see why he is so good. And I talked about his basic, why it is so good. Well, it is clearing 3 positive effects. And the good thing about this is if you have that striker Iso-8 class on him, well, he is going to do that on a counter and an assist chance as well. So Miles, very good character. And the good thing about him is, as you can see, I'm using the Web Warriors team in a hybrid. And I'm not really using Spider-Punk too much because I don't have that Iso-8 in him. But he works very well and performing very good in the Doom Wars. And I like that striker class because he clears with the T4s. You don't need a lot of T4s on him, so that's a good thing. He also, just like Symbiote Spider-Man, can unlock our gal, the legendary Shuri, so he is a good character for that. And Striker is the most popular class. Now, it's not overwhelmingly the best class for him. I like that Striker because of that bonus assist chance, clearing those 3 positive effects, but Raider is also very important. It's also very popular, excuse me. And if you want to farm him, he's actually even more friendly than Gamora because not only is he available in the Blitz store, he also is available on a note, Heroes 3-3. So yeah, a lot of good stuff with Miles and very easily farmable. And I think his value is going to go up as we see this Web Warriors team start to rise in importance. All right, coming up next on the list, moving up 1 spot from last month is, boom, Bishop. Yes, Bishop. Now, as a standalone character, I wouldn't recommend building up Bishop too much, but if you have Jubilee and pairing Bishop with Jubilee, I think he stands out as one of the better characters in the game. He has this taunt that he does. He has some insane damage, very low cooldowns on his insane kit. So let's go take a look at him in game and see why he's so good. Take a look at some of these T4s. Now, Striker is probably the best class for him because he could get some of that extra assists with his basic there. And as far as T4s, well, he doesn't require a lot. I got 2 T4s in him, and those are the 2 most popular on MSF.GG as well. The passive 80% of users on that site have that passive T-Ford, and then 65% of users have that ultimate T-Ford. So good character, and unfortunately though, not a very easy farm. If you want to get shards of Bishop, he is in a very overcrowded war store right now. Oh, and he does unlock Magneto if you're still trying to unlock Magneto. So yeah, it's a lot of value, great character, and I'm using him every single day in the Doom Raids, that mutant section. So boom, let's move on to the next character, and coming up number 6 on the list, moving up one spot from last month, is Beast, the other member of the Axemen. And you could argue that he's actually a little more important than any of the Axemen, because not only is he very important on that Axemen team, but if you're running kind of a hybrid team with the Uncanny X-Men, well, he could make that team a little better as well. But I think his best role is on the Axemen. Now, where do I use him? Well, just like Bishop, I'm using him in the raids and the Axemen. They're a very good war offense or defense team. So let's go take a look at Beast, see what T4s and Iso-8 class he has on him. Now, Healer is what I have, and that is still the most popular class on Beast, but I know some people are switching him to Striker. So depending, maybe as some of these higher level raids, I think that Striker class may be more important, but I currently have him still listed as a healer. Now, the only T4 that you need for Beast to give him the power that he needs is that special. 42% of users on MSF.GG have that special T4, so that is what I would recommend. And yeah, very, very good, like I said, on double teams, but more for that Axemen than the Uncanny. All right, moving on. Moving up on the list is number 5 spot, and that is Phyla-Vell. Yes, she fell 2 spots from last month, but she is still a very good character. Now, like Symbiote Spider-Man, she also fits in that Doom Raid spot. If you're running 4 Web Warriors and you need a 5th, maybe you don't have good red stars on Spider-Punk like I do, well, she fits in that 5th spot and works very, very well. A lot of it, granted, is those Web Warriors, but Phyla-Vell is a viable 5th. Now, she is part of that Infinity Watch, which is losing value like Gamora, but she gets a little bit more value because of her raid value. Gamora, I don't really use her in the raids too much, but Phyla-Vell, I do. Also, we have the Gamma raids running as I'm recording this right now, and if you're in that Kree section on one of those outer lanes, well, Phyla-Vell, you're gonna use her, and she's better than some of the other characters that are available. Some of the other Kree, some of the other Pimtech, and better than some of the other Wakandans that you could use. So Phyla-Vell, very, very good. Now, Striker is probably the most important, the most popular class on her. 94% of users on MSF.GG have that Striker class equipped on her. And as far as T4s, you got her passive. 89% of users have that passive T4, and 69% have that ultimate T4. And she's still in the raids, probably at that mid-game level where people aren't able to get all these Eternal Shards. So it still has some value, kind of like Gamora in Arena, but I consider her more of a raid character, and obviously one of the better offense and defense teams in war is the full Infinity Watch team, so she's going to give you some value there. Now, she is available on that Arena store at that increased cost there, so that is where you could get her, and it is not a very difficult farm like some of these other characters, so yeah, get her if you can. Moving back to the list as we continue to move up and count down, let us go to the number 4 spot. Moving up 2 spots from last month is our girl, the power broker, Sharon Carter. Yes, she is very valuable, and she is another legendary unlock with one of the more important legendaries right now in Omega Red. You need her for Omega Red, so she gets a little extra value there. And yes, she is in part of that Secret Avengers team, very important for the skill section of Doom, and they're a great war defense team, a great war offense team, so you could use her in multiple places. Let's take a look at her in game and see what T4s we have, and we have 2 of them, but the special is the one I recommend if your T4 don't have as much T4s in your inventory, but the special, 48% of users have that T4 on her, and Striker is the class. 92% of users have that Striker class equipped on Sharon Carter. Now, she's not a easy farm because that raid store, there are not as many important characters, but you do need to wait for her to pop up, and that could take a while. So it's not an easy farm, but you can still get some shards for her there in that raid store. So yes, if you can get Sharon Carter, get her. You're gonna need her, not just for the raids, but also for Omega Red. Boom, moving on to the list. There's not that many characters left. I think you can guess some of them. Coming at number 3, though, is her partner in crime, Maria Hill, also moving up 2 spots from last month. Now, she's a little harder to farm than Sharon Carter. Let's go take a look in game and see where we could get her. She is available actually in a very difficult place, that crowded war store along with Bishop, and not an easy farm at all. I'm not sure if you're a newer player or even a mid-game player if you should be going after her. Maybe at mid-game, yes, because of Omega Red and those Secret Avengers, but maybe not that newer player that should be going after Maria Hill. Very important in a raid, just like Sharon Carter, is also part of that legendary unlock for Omega Red. And as you can see, Healer is the preferred Iso-8 class. 96% of users on MSF.GG have that Healer class on her. And the T4, the most popular T4 for Maria Hill is the passive. 60% of users have that passive. As you can see, I also did the special and the ultimate. But if you're T4 starved, the passive is the best one for her. But yeah, like I said, not an easy farm. She's available in the war store, but she is a character that you're going to need down the road. You're going to need to unlock her. You're going to need to build her up. And because Omega Red is a mythic legendary character, well, he's you're going to need to put some Iso-8 and gear her up as well. Moving back to the list, we only got 2 spots left. 2 great characters left. Who is coming in at two spot? It's actually a character that's moving up significantly because of his value in Arena. Boom, moving up 8 spots is Zemo. And yeah, what has changed? He was sort of in the Arena last month. He just came into Brahmins there, but I'm seeing Zemo in every Arena battle, either on my team when I see Doom on the enemy's team, or if I see him on the enemy team and I don't see a Doom, well, I'm bringing in Doom myself. So he's either on my team or the enemy's team on defense. Of course, this is at the end game level, so you may not be using Zemo as much. Your lifts may look a little different than mine, but he's still a very important character in today's meta because of that Arena value that he brings. And like I said, that ranking that I talked about for myself, Arena is the most important game mode. Maybe a different valuation for you, but he is very, very important. Let's take a look at him in game. Boom, one of the best moves that you could do for him is his passive. 84% of users have that passive T4. And yeah, Arena, War, that's pretty much where you're gonna use him. He doesn't have a lot of raid value anymore. You got better skill options in the raids if you're in the Doom raids. But yeah, and as far as T4s, well, this is the most important class, or the most popular class, Skirmisher on MSF.G. And if you want to farm him, he's in the same place as Sharon Carter. Not the easiest place to farm him because you got to go through that rotation and he may not pop up in every refresh that you get, but he is available in that raid store. So he's a very important character, gaining ground, gaining importance. And let's go back to the list and talk about that number 1 spot. And there's only one candidate. I think you know who that number 1 character is. He's been there for a few months. He has not changed. I don't think he's budging for a while. It is our boy, Captain Sam. Very, very good character. Arguably the best tank in the game. And he does so much with his speed. Now, I wish he had that tech tag so he could be in the skill section and the tech section, give us a great tank in there. But looking at Captain Sam, just like the rest of the Secret Avengers, he's an important part of that Omega Red unlock, who, like I said, is one of the better legendaries in the game right now. Skirmisher is one of the better classes that you could equip on him. I think, yes, that's for that extra focus that he gives at that level 5 Iso-8 green, and 88% of users have that T4 or have that Iso-8 class in him. And as far as T4s, well, the passive, 72% of users have that passive T4, 65% of users have that special T4. As you can see, I also have that ultimate T4, but that is one that you could skip if you're really T4 starved. And as far as farming location, not an easy early game farm, available on Doom 2.6. So you're gonna need to get through a few stages. You're gonna have to get out of that mid-game stage in order to get some shards of him. But yeah, he's a very good character. Get him when you can. The double value raids and the unlock for the legendary Omega Red. Now, there are a few other characters that I did want to mention. Didn't quite make the list, but they are worth mentioning because they're very good. Anti-Venom, still a great character. If you had to pick 2 symbiotes, I think the 2 most valuable are Symbiote Spider-Man and Anti-Venom. So we could include him on the honorable mention list. Spider-Man, normal Peter Parker Spider-Man is also an honorable mention. Misty Knight just became an honorable mention. Now, this is not based on what I have used. I look at her kit. She has a very good kit. Other people have taken her to tech sections. She's very good there. And that's where that honorable mentions come from, not from firsthand knowledge, but yes, very, very good for the raids. And of course, is part of that dirty war defense, heroes for hire. And let's not forget Nebula. Nebula is still a part of that Infinity Watch. So she's a very good character, and I use her in the tech section, not because she's a great tech character, but she's kind of there. She's one of the better tech characters, kind of a default option, and you got to kill her twice in order to kill her. So that is it, guys. That is the list. It may look very different than yours based on where you are in the game and based on your valuation. I think the characters that I mentioned in the top 10 and in the honorable mentions are the correct characters for the top 10 and honorable mentions. You may argue with the order depending on where you value the game and where you are in the game, but I think these are the 10 characters with these honorable mentions somewhere in the list. Now, if you enjoy this list, we do this every month. And like I said, we put out many videos every week, at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos a week. So if you like that, hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel. Hit that thumbs up button. It does help the channel. And if you want to get notified as soon as a new video goes up, make sure you ring that bell, join the notification squad. I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Remember, give me that Hulk fist, but before you go, ValleyFlyin out!